Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Next Generation recap and rewatch podcast. I am your host, Adam Ordall Quinnell, and I am here with my co-host.
Hey everyone, it's Al Hirt. What's up?
Al Hirt forgot how to do intros. I did too, kind of. It feels like it's been like we did record an episode last week, but like we just recorded. It was fucking Q Who, right?
Yes, it was Q Who.
Q Who. We've been on this fucked up schedule where we are recording the week of basically all the time. We're basically doing a live show almost at this point.
Yeah.
It comes out. Hours off. There's a 20-hour delay on the feed, and some heavy editing for mouth noises and such. So we're going to talk about an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. But before we get into all the fucking rigmarole of our podcast, how's it going, Al?
It's going well, man. Just enjoying San Diego. My new gig.
Yeah, you got a new gig. I know I'm not going to dox you, but what industry are you in? What's your...
It's like, I guess it's technical services, more retail kind of deal.
So it's retail like, do you talk to customers or businesses? Are you business to business?
Yeah, business to business.
B2B? You're B2B?
B2B.
You're B2B into B? Good. Well, that's
it's
good.
A lot of, it feels a lot of office politics already in the first 2 weeks. Figured out a lot of the tea and the drama, but everybody seems very nice. Well,
as you know, there's no better class of person to deal with than the small business owner. So that is fantastic. There could be only because there was like 18 years of advertising basically saying that small business owners were the most important thing in the country. And they all lost their minds, and then COVID happened, and they triple lost their mind, and that was the whole thing. Well, I'm glad. So you're liking it? How long have you been there? Like 2 weeks?
It's second week. Yeah.
Second week of a new job. Wow.
Still fresh.
Wow.
Yeah. And go ahead.
No, go for it. What do you mean?
Nat, I used to work outdoors and deliver and shit, and I was just... kind of getting bored at my desk job. But then I kind of reiterated to myself, like, hey, Al, you're not in a truck. It's not, 90 degrees. You're not in the back.
That's awful.
Hauling some shit.
No. That's all.
You got to count your blessings.
Hey.
It's getting paid for your mind, rather than your labor too.
Well,
not to say anything against it, but it's like,
wow,
I pray to God everybody gets safe.
Coming after the Teamsters. Wow,
dude, it's
Al,
just
shitting on the manual labor of people
got to unionize. That's all I got to say.
Oh, man. I think that...
and it's like water, bathrooms,
food
privileges.
Coffee?
It's like, how wild is that it's like...
They have free coffee?
Right. It's like, that's like a blessing, It's kind of fucked that some people out there are still working jobs without that, but hey, whatever.
Well, so I have been an office rat since 2007.
Yes.
I had a job in tech for like 10 years, and then I had been a temp all kinds of places, and then in like 2019 I started wherever I am now, and it's just tech support over the phone, which is fine. Don't want to talk about it really on the podcast, but it's I've always needed to have, because I have health stuff, right? So I always need to have insurance because we live in hell. So I've always, ever since I graduated from college, it's just like, well, I need a 40-hour-a-week job. Like when people are like, oh, I'm a bartender because I have time to like do creative stuff during the day, or like I can make enough in tips in 3 days or in a weekend, and like all of this uncertain stuff. And it's just like, man, I've never been that type of
off the cuff kind of deal.
Because I've always, I've always needed a place to land at the end of the day, and like I like having a routine, and I just like having health insurance in case I break my arm. It'll only cost me $2,500 instead of $1,000. But it would still be expensive, even with insurance, to break my arm. Like, it would still be expensive enough that if I broke my arm, there'd be a day or two where I'd be like, is it really broken? Like, do I have to go in? I mean, it's just so, like, just getting the x-ray for my back and my ribs, it was $320 or some shit.
Wow.
With my copay and stuff. So it's just like, oh, I see. So you're just demons, all of you.
There's been people online on TikTok too that I've seen where they go to Mexico and get medical care there.
Yeah,
somebody got dental work there.
Oh, I know people who've done that.
Interesting.
That's great.
Interesting industry, because there's a whole industry in and of itself for transportation from the border to those hospitals.
I know people that have done dental stuff down there, like dental surgery and shit, and you coordinate through a service, and like a bus takes you and a bunch of other people to various clinics or whatever, and then you come back after you're all done, and it costs a few $100 instead of like what would be a couple $1,000 even if you have quote unquote health insurance, which really seems to just be a scam.
Something you pay.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess my medication is cheaper, but it should be free. Like, so I don't really think like cheaper for something that I think should just be like a human right is kind of like, well, like it should be more expensive. Like, it's like if it's a human right. So it should either be free or it should be the most expensive fucking thing. The fact that you can have a price in between means it's all a sham. But yeah, I don't remember where that started. I'm glad you're enjoying your new gig in San Diego. I hope you learn lots of good gossip at your job.
It's getting exciting.
I hope that it's a regular. I hope that it's a regular telenovela over there. But hey, it's good catching up, man. It did feel like it had been a month and a half since we recorded an episode, and it was 7 days ago right now. And that brings us to the first official segment of the episode. What does Al remember? This is What Does Al Remember? And this week, Al, I am going to ask you, what do you remember about... And I just realized I didn't check to see if we've already done this as What Does Al Remember? I don't think so. But what do you remember about Season 1, Episode 8 of Star Trek The Next Generation, The Battle?
The battle?
What do you remember about the battle?
In The Next Generation?
In The Next Generation. I'm going to give you some hints because the look on your face, if you're not watching the video tier of the podcast, the look on your face says you need a little tip. How about if I tell you this? It was directed by Rob Bowman. Does that help you? I'm just kidding. What if I told you that the alien race that figures heavily in the episode is one that we know, and one with the Ferengi. I'll just say they're Ferengi. So this is a Ferengi episode. What do you remember about the Ferengi episode in Season 1 of Star Trek The Next Generation? It's also a Picard-heavy episode.
Oh.
So I'll give you that.
Yeah. This was the one we talk about sort of often. It's when the Ferengi use like a mind control to gas like Picard's PTSD.
Yeah. They use a thought machine.
Yes, but it's kind of like a combination of some PTSD drama with the other episode we talk about with Bones and how he doesn't know whether he committed a genocide or not in the past.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Bones when he's wistfully looking at a plantation in the animated series.
Oh, yeah, God. No. Yeah, that too.
No, when Bones, there's a chance that he did a genocide. That's pretty good. That's pretty. You're right. It is an
it's like that panic, and it's like how the unthinkable.
Well, and so what I really liked about that episode, and I have two more specific trivia things to ask you about it. But one thing that I really like about the episode that doesn't spoil the questions is it really shows you what Picard values about himself. And the second his like I just rubbed my fucking face on the microphone. The second that his sanity or his recollection of some events is called into question, he fucking loses it. He just instantly breaks into a sweat because all he knows is that he knows what he knows, you knows? And any disruption of that fucking throws him off. Now, so they're out in the middle of nowhere, and these Ferengi show up, and they have
around out there.
They're zipping around out there. These Ferengi show up, and they have a gift for Captain Jean-Luc Picard. What is it, Al?
It's not like treasure or anything.
No, it's not a cartoon treasure chest with like coins and a king hat, a crown falling out.
It's a gift from somebody else. It's like a friend of his in the past.
In the past, you are correct. It's not a person, but what else in Picard's past would have a name, Al?
Would have a name? A ship?
A ship! Al, it's Picard's first ship. Now,
oh, that's right. The one that got like lost, and then did he jump ship?
I don't know, Al. This segment isn't what does Adam remember, because I'm looking at the shit on Memory Alpha. So
he
let me stop
trying to figure out whether he abandoned it or not.
Yes.
The whole episode?
You are correct about that. He's got some doubt cast in his mind about the events that surround the end of that ship's career in service. But what I want to ask you is, Al, do you remember the name of that ship?
The name?
They say it a bunch of
Pathfinder?
times. No, but you're close. It's not a Dungeons and Dragons analog tabletop RPG.
It's like something with a navigator or something.
Oh, it's the Stargazer.
The Stargazer.
I don't think you ever would have got that, but Navigator was close.
Thank you.
You had the gazer.
Gator.
You had that. You had that in there that you knew. All right, so the other question I have for you is, so the Ferengi get Picard all whipped up in his fucking noggin. He doesn't know whether he's jibbing or jabbing or jobbing or jumping, right? And and they set up a scenario where Picard is on the bridge of the Stargazer, and he's facing off against Riker at the helm of the Enterprise. Now, can you tell me, because they mentioned it at the beginning of the episode, and then it comes to fruition as important at the end, it's a real Chekhov's gun. What is the name of the maneuver that they do that Picard does to attack the ship that he also did to the Ferengi ship back in the day?
Was it like a light speed jump?
So, yes,
where he hops from one place to another and makes like a phantom of himself.
Oh man, Al, that's so good. You know exactly what it is. But
I don't know the name.
So listen to the question very closely.
Yeah.
What is the name of the maneuver that Picard does?
The Picard maneuver?
Yes, Al, you got it, buddy. I'm going to edit that so that it sounds like you just fucking stopped me in my tracks.
Huh?
No, yeah, it's the Picard maneuver, and that is exactly what it is. Picard, back in the day, he warped in really fast. And when you warp in really fast to the sensors on the ship you're jumping at, it looks like there's two targets.
Yes.
And so 50-50 chance they're going to target the wrong target. I think that's the wisdom, and they did, or they couldn't decide which one. And in that second that they're trying to decide,
Picard shoots.
But he didn't destroy the Ferengi ship. He just disabled it. And the Stargazer was on its last legs at the time too. He abandoned ship and orders his crew to abandon ship. And it's the Ferengi captain's daddy that is causing all of this mayhem. Now, this isn't really so Data. So here's the funny thing. You did a good job. The segment's over for the most part. I'll play the theme in a second. But what I really liked about this is this Picard maneuver. It's taught at the Academy, right? Like it's like one of the big maneuvers in the history of Starfleet. It's a real Corbomite maneuver, you know? And Riker in the final moments says, "Hey, Data, Picard's going to do the Picard maneuver. I need you to calculate a way to defeat it." And so Data, using his brain, fucking determines a way to like light the gases around it to show where the ship is so they can disable it before Picard attacks them, and they figure it out and they save Picard.
Don't they always use though they always say some technical term, but it's basically like the gas traces that
it's always
they leave
like
in space.
If I was on the bridge of the Enterprise,
electron trace.
if I was on the bridge of the Enterprise, well, hold on. That's what I'll remember. There's always some gas involved. Like if I was on the bridge of the Enterprise and Picard was like, "God damn it, what's going on? We need to know what's going on. Riker, number one, we need to know what's going on." I'd be like, you know what, sir, Captain, I hate to speak up out of turn, Commander Adam. I would not be an ensign. I would have slimed my way up, and I would say, "Hey, you know, I think what we should do is, I think we should analyze all the gas. Like, look out, like that's my instantly like step one, analyze the gas, and we're gonna find something in there." Or what I would say is, "Hey, Data, solve the problem that we're having. Like, you're the most advanced thinking machine that we have access to in the galaxy. Just get us to Act 5. Come on, Data. Just, you know you can do it, buddy." But yeah, so that was The Battle, Star Trek Episode 2, and I was really season 1, Episode 8. Or wait, god damn, I just had it up.
8.
Was it episode?
Or was it 18?
8. Episode 8.
8?
Yeah,
that one was early.
Season 1, Episode 8. Yeah, they really show us out of the chute that Picard. He's not your granddaddy's. He's not your daddy's Starfleet flagship Enterprise captain, or your older uncles, I guess. I mean, there wasn't a lot of time between the movies. I mean, the movies were happening at the same time. Mm-hmm. But this week, Al, we are talking about. Well, first off, this is episode. God, I was ready. I'm just my energy drink flagging. This people are listening. You've been recording for 15 minutes, dude. Your life is fucking stupid. So this is episode number 163 of Trek in the Valley. We're covering the season 2, episode 17 of Star Trek: The Next Generation, and it is called The Samaritan Snare. What is this, about a drum set? Now it was written by Robert McCullough, directed by Les Landau, and the Paramount Plus air date has it at May 13th, 1989. And the Paramount, or the IMDb air date, has it as the 15th. Now, oh man, May 15th. That's just a couple days off from like 100 years ago, exactly. And again, I think that maybe it's like a Mangala situation thing where there's universes collided, and in this universe where IMDb was created, Star Trek aired on like Wednesdays, but in the fucking Prime universe, it's on Mondays, and that's why there's 2 days difference. I can only imagine that's the thing, because there'd be no other reason why those dates would conflict. The Paramount Plus synopsis of this episode is: While Picard fights for his life in surgery, he doesn't actually really fight for his life. He doesn't do much. Other people fight for his life. While Picard fights, that's really funny that's how they put it in general. When you're like, oh, you're really fighting for your life in there. It's like, you're laying down, you're asleep. You got something on your head that's disrupting your memory engrams. Now, while Picard fights for his life in surgery, Geordi is held hostage by the leaders of an alien race.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it's a good one, boys and ghouls. All right, this is a good episode. A lot of good Worf stuff, a lot of good alien stuff, a lot of good Riker stuff. It opens, of course, much like how Season 1, Episode 8, The Battle opened, with them zipping around out there.
Yes. And
they're doing a survey of a new pulsar cluster. You know, they just found one. They're like, hey, look at it. We didn't notice that pulsar cluster over there. And it's also a Wesley. So they really, and it's one of the least annoying Wesley episodes, quite frankly.
It's pretty sort of relatable, I feel.
Yeah. So Wesley's got exams on a starbase because apparently his deal with Starfleet Academy is he's on like a work study program where he gets credits for being on the Enterprise as long as he passes his exams. And Data's like, don't worry, the exams are easy. And he's like, hey, you're a fucking robot. Of course they're easy for you, dumbass. He's like, oh, no, they are they are easy, but not quite as... Riker says you're not going to have anything to worry about. And then Data very in a very convoluted and technical way describes why he's not going to have anything to worry about. And Data's like, well, I just said it better than you did, Riker, you fucking dumb shit with your dumbass beard.
But it's also like... just kind of like this slice of life again, you know, typical things need to get done, you know.
Also, Data makes a funny. That's good. I really like that. So Dr. Robo-Racist, we cut to Dr. Pulaski telling Picard that he's got to go to the same starbase that Wesley's going to because he's got some secret medical procedure. And it's it's a procedure he doesn't want her to do. So, I mean, you assume something needs to be replaced. So, right. I mean, he needs something replaced. He doesn't want his ship's doctor to do it. He says it's going to be embarrassing. I mean, dude's got a fake cock, right? Like, he definitely, he's got a fake, which is fine in the future, they probably have that technology, but it takes us so long to get to the fact that it's a heart thing. That you really think it's like a ball pump or something for all... I was just like, oh my God, there's only one surgery that could be so embarrassing for Captain Picard, and that would be it's got something to do with his balls or his asshole or something, you know? He's like, I have to get my asshole replaced, and I will not have you, a robot racist, replacing my asshole. Engage.
Oh no, but what before too is before that scene also with Wesley, it's just kind of obvious, but kind of, you know, redundant for the audience to learn again, because this is week by week, where Riker's like, you have nothing to worry about because you have practical experience. We almost die every week. In fact, you've taken over this ship. You're quite a couple of times.
You have captained the hell ship while on drugs, man. Like you're fucking fine, dude. Like you're gonna be fine.
But anyways, back to the embarrassment with Picard. He's scuffling across the bridge. And Riker's like, wait, so you're not coming? Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I gotta go to this doctor thing.
I feel like we need to mention, and it's very mysterious, and Riker pushes him, and Picard's like, it's private, goddammit.
I like the whole gag too of, you're gonna miss that star cluster though, sir.
That is exactly what I wanted to mention. That one of the big dramatic cruxes of this episode is that Picard has had this star survey on his calendar with a heart over it for months. And he's like, well, it's finally, and then that's what Riker's like, wait, so can I just go on this thing for you? You've been looking forward to this. No, you can't go get my asshole replaced for me, Commander. Damn it. And
it's pretty second-hand nature for the, second in command to quote unquote sacrifice himself to go off the ship.
But all you would fucking have to say is, I have a valve I have a replacement valve that needs to be put in my heart, and they can only do it at this place. And even if that's kind of bullshit, he just doesn't want to seem weak, or he explains he's embarrassed by why it happened. It happened because he got in a fight with some Nausicaans because he's racist. Like, basically, Picard got stabbed for. It's basically it's kind of the theme. It's kind of like American History X almost. Like, Picard gets stabbed for being racist, essentially, and that's why he had to have an entire replacement artificial heart put in. But we don't find that out till later. We still think it's some sort of ball pump or anal implant or something at this point. And then we get Wesley walking with Geordi and Gomez, who it's like, oh, Gomez is just in the crew. We're definitely going to see her for years and years. Nope, she's not around for very long. I feel like something dramatic is going to happen to Gomez by the end of this season. I feel like she's going to get assimilated by the Borg or something. And so Wesley's nervous about this flight to the fucking space station because he's going to be with Picard. And he knows, everybody knows, as we find out later, Picard hates kids. And... And he's just nervous about, like, what are we going to talk about? And Gomez is like, dude, Picard's a genius. Talk to him about fucking anything, man. You'll learn a lot. And it's like, that's what Picard wants. He wants to explain.
Well, this is where it feels relatable, though, because it's like, imagine, you just have to get on a ship with your boss or drive in a car with your boss for 6 hours. Your
boss, who's also like one of the greatest space heroes in the history of spacefaring humanity. A
master in his field that everybody looks up to and talks about. And you gotta fly.
You gotta pilot the shuttle. And he's just like gonna sit there and read an old book. Like, what is that old stinky fucking book, Picard? Jesus Christ, get a pad.
I don't know.
Get a pad, dummy. So they take off for the space place, and just as Riker and the gang are about to leave, they get a distress call, a mayday on all frequencies. And they are, of course, beholden to go check it out. And he's like, what about the Data goes, what about the survey? And he goes, Data, you fucking know we gotta do this. Like, that's the whole thing that we do. If there's a mayday, we're like, mayday, mayday. Okay, we heard you. We have to come check it out.
Yeah, it's the Epsilon Star Cluster or something like that.
Yeah, is that where the thing is coming from, or where they were going to study?
They were going to study.
Well, now they're going
but now they gotta do the distress signal.
My notes say that the star system that they go to is the John Boy Rominger star system. It's got a weird name.
That's interesting.
And the distress call ship pulls onto screen, and whoops, we're introduced to an alien race whose features heavily in Lower Decks, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the fucking Pakleds. Tell us about the Pakleds, Al.
They are very short-spoken. I guess they come off as, like, very neutral kind of people. Very...
Al. They're dummies. You like?
Oh,
no,
I mean, I'm trying
dummies.
to be nice here.
No, they're dummies. They're definitely, and it ends up being a bit of a ruse.
Of course.
But they basically just say, like, four things.
They have no weapons. They have no idea.
Yeah.
They're very gray. They're literal gray.
when they have big eyebrows. When
they look like they're melting.
They look like a melted Twilight Zone character. Now, they say that when he asks, what do you guys do out in the galaxy? He goes, we find things. And then he says, we find things that make us go. Our ship can you make us go? And Geordi's like, yeah, I'll go over there and fucking check shit out. And I was just like, what are you doing? You're just going to send him over there without... You got Data right there. Data can punch a hole through a fucking elephant, man. And like, what the fuck, dude? You send Data every time.
Yeah, and with Picard gone, though, there isn't that chance to hear out the second opinion, because Worf is like, what are we doing? We don't even know these people.
Worf?
Like, why are you sending this one person over?
Worf tells Riker to just transmit the plans for how to fix the shit themselves.
And then Riker's like, well, do you think they can figure it out?
Yeah, look how harmless they are. He's like, you think they can fucking... Come on, we'll blow them out of the sky.
But he doesn't... Worf doesn't, finish that thought where it's like, well, what if it's a ruse?
Yep.
But,
and then
hey,
eventually Troy comes in and says the
course.
same fucking thing.
Yeah.
So Jordy is like almost excited to get over there and help these primitive dummies fucking fix their systems, right? And Data says they're a relatively benign species. And he goes, don't they seem a little slow? They may merely have poorly developed language skills. And there's some minor weapons. There's some minor weapons, limited armaments. And Riker's like, don't be worried, Worf. And this is what's funny is like, couldn't they shoot Picard a text? Like, they're not far enough away that they couldn't like call Picard and be like, hey, have you heard of the Pakleds? Like, what should we do here? These guys seem dumb, but it might be a ruse.
Or he's at the star base anyways. It's like, oh, I could look up what
he's
a
not at the star
Pakled
base.
is.
He's on a shuttle.
Yet, that's true.
That's the other thing. They can just call the shuttle. It's not even. They've been flying at impulse or whatever. Now Picard is saying. Picard is reading. Wesley kind of touches back about what are we doing? What are you doing here? And Picard's not going to tell him. And then he sits in silence. Then he does the old, I don't want to talk about this, but I do want to talk about it. And he says, this whole thing is a fucking pointless ordeal. I should be back on the Enterprise doing starship captain work. And then he says, I'm just dreading the idea of another damn cardiac replacement.
It should have been me, or would have made more sense if it was like some dental work and he was just, I hate the dentist. Like, it just sucks.
I mean, that's more believable
for
to
sure.
me. Like, I would have just had Pulaski do it.
You want to keep that here hidden, But also, yeah, you would just have Pulaski do it in that case.
I would just have Pulaski do it.
But what ends up happening, though, is, yeah.
it makes a lot of sense. Now, and that's why Wesley's like, just have Pulaski do it. And he goes, I'm not going to explain why I'm not going to do that. Fuck off. And then he's like,
so
one thing that Wesley says is, why would they put in a faulty pump? You think they fucking put in a faulty pump on purpose, dumbass? You fucking dumb dildo. You fucking loser, Wesley, and your sweater.
Jeez.
Now, Geordi beams over to the Pakled ship, and they're like crowding around him. He says, give me a minute. And he's going to work on their nav console. And they introduce them to other Pakleds who are like Rajni and Ragnar. And and Geordi is just totally tickled by how folksy and goofy they are. And they are all just like, he's great. And at this point, I went, well, they're going to kidnap Geordi because he's what they're looking for. He's what's going to, quote unquote, make them go. And then,
exactly.
And then Troy pops onto the fucking bridge and she's like, what are you doing? Why did you send Geordi over to an alien ship? Worf, did you let them do this? And Worf is just like, it'd be so funny. It's like, and then Data's like, they seem like a relatively benign, harmless spacefaring race. They're just kind of ahead of their curve. They have curiosity. And she says, what those aliens feel, it's not helplessness. And they're like, what? And she says, Lieutenant LaForge is in great danger. And then
dun, dun, dun.
I think there was a commercial break.
Now,
so basically, this is what's so stupid about this. Troy casts aspersions on these guys, right? These Pakleds, right? And how does Riker handle it? He calls over to Geordi on the view screen and he says, hey, are you okay? And Geordi's like, yeah, I mean, you can see me, right? Shit seems fine. I mean, shit seems fine, right? And he goes, why do you ask? And it's not like because he's on speaker. So he can't say, well, the Pakleds might be having some ulterior motives. Like if Deanna Troi, let's say I'm in right. First off, presumably, I know they have like an open relationship or something, but presumably Riker wants to have sex with Troi again at some point. So you should probably listen to her when she suggests things. I'm not saying that's the only reason a man should listen to a woman, but just
also she's
to Riker's
overpowered
baser
too.
instincts. And yes, she's OP. She can sense Picard at the space station later when his surgery's fucked up.
Well, she just asks inherently if Geordi is on the alien ship.
She knows. She knows, and she knows he's in danger, right? So if I'm Riker, overpowered mutant lady, that can sense danger, tells me there's danger, I don't call over and say, hey, what's going on? I just beam Jordy back.
Yeah,
and
no
then
questions.
fucking figure it out. I would just beam Jordy to the bridge and be like, she's saying they might have ulterior motives. What do you think about that? And then this is what's great, because Data totally backs her up. Data goes, hey, in the past, Troy has often detected things that are beyond our human sensory perception. And he even includes himself. I think he says our sensory perception or our perception. So Data's saying, hey, I don't know, man. So we got Worf, we got Data, and we got Troy. All of them saying, hey, maybe there's something to this shit. And just
plenty of people trick Data too. They con him.
Just a fucking rube. Data is such a fucking rube, dude. Like, I would love to see Data walking up with a cow, and if I had some beans to sell him, I'd be like, oh my god, and I would trick him, even though he's science and he would know the beans aren't magic. I would still get him somehow. Now we cut back to the shuttle, and Picard is like 2.5%. 2.5% odds of mortality. So there's like a 2.5% chance he'll die. And Wesley's like, that's good odds. Why wouldn't you just have Pulaski do it? And he goes, I think we're just going to leave it where it is, motherfucker. It's just like, dude, if I was Wesley, I would say, look, Captain, we all know how this goes. We're going to sit in silence for a couple hours. You're going to get antsy and you're going to want to unburden yourself of what you're thinking about this procedure, and we can figure it out. And, but no, Picard's like, we're leaving it where it is. We're going to let this turkey die. We'll never speak of this again until I'm making sandwiches later. And I realize I've been a bit harsh. And cause I don't think Wesley hasn't done the "you hate kids" line yet, which is fucking great. But yeah, so they still are talking to Geordi like nothing's wrong. And Geordi's just showing the Pakleds how to realign shit. And he goes, hey, we're going to be ready to go in just like a couple minutes here. And so I just put this in, I zip, zap, zop. And then, the power on the ship goes out. And he goes, oh no, I just fixed the navigation system, but now there's no power. And he goes, it is broken. Can you make it go?
Yeah.
And Geordi's like, yeah, I guess. So now he's got to work on their primary power. What the fuck,
it's like
dude?
This little repair ended up being way more than expected.
You have had another opportunity to beam him back and then figure it out when he's on the bridge, safe and sound, the reading rainbow guy. Now, cut to the shuttle again. And this is where Wesley says, you're not too comfortable with me. It's chill.
It's awkward.
Basically, Wesley's being very cool about it, though. Like, as much as Wesley sucks, just the fact that he's like, hey, look, I get it. Everybody knows that you're shitty around kids. And he's like, you're a fine young man. And he goes, you don't have to say all that, sir. It's pretty obvious how you feel. And he goes, oh, is it? How do I feel? And he goes, everyone knows you don't like kids. And Picard is just like, what? And it's so funny because it's 100% correct. Picard hates having to interact with kids. And then Wesley is like, it's too bad, too, because you'd probably make a good dad. And he's like, I mean, you did get my dad killed, I guess, but you would be a good dad, too. And Picard closes his book and goes back. And Wesley just can't leave him alone. He's like, did you ever want to have kids? And Picard's like, wishing for things doesn't make it so. And later he'll explain, like, well, you got to make sacrifices. Fucking doing the shit.
But it also starts, though, in a funny way where Wesley's like, I know you'd rather have Riker come here than with me.
Thank you, Al. Pulling it
Picard's
back.
like, why are you saying that?
Pulling it out,
like,
dude. That was a great...
I know, because you don't like kids.
Great save, buddy. Oh, my God. That is pro podcasting, because
It's just so awkward,
I
though.
thought that was so funny. Like, I know you'd probably rather have Commander Riker with. Like, Jesus Christ. Are they're really, like, as though they're fucking. Like, he's like, I know you'd rather have Commander Riker with, because everybody knows when you two are on away missions, you come back real happy. And then we cut back to the ship. hey, Jordy's got the Pakleds stuff all figured out, right? And he's going to beam back over. And they go, hey, I hate to repair and run, but I got to get out of here. And they just pull his fucking phaser and shoot him. Like, you should have your phaser secured, right? Maybe a little snap, like cops do. Maybe you should have a little snap on your... I'm not trying to victim blame, Jordy, but get a little snap for your phaser. But so now they've zapped Jordy, and they've got a shield up, some sort of similar to Romulan shields.
They can't use a transporter.
Yeah, things are starting to make a lot more sense. Riker says, drop your shields, and then they just terminate and block the transmission. So
like,
shit.
Oh, great. Here we go.
Egg on Riker's face at 1941 before it cuts to, I guess, another commercial. There's weird breaks in this one. Riker looks at the camera like, I'm going to take a lot of shit about this at poker games from Worf and Data and Troy and probably Picard, who's going to be like, you sent Geordi? Like, the whole time he's probably like, oh, Daddy Picard is not going to be happy when he finds out that I sent Geordi over there without any security at all to a ship full of... They could be cannibals. They could eat flesh.
So obvious.
They could eat the flesh of other aliens.
Don't they send some other person for first contact on the ship or on the planet where those people have sex and like Wesley runs into those plants and stuff?
Yeah.
And then somebody comes back and it's like, okay, it's approved for shore leave.
Yeah, they would talk. They would do first contact with the pack. Like, I mean, maybe they have actually. Maybe the Federation has probably had contact with them, but. Like, they didn't really know much. And then we get Picard and Wesley eating British triangle sandwiches and talking about how the rigors of Starfleet leaves no room for romance. And Wesley says, oh, really? I mean, that's not a problem for me. Where ladies are concerned, I am totally in control. And Picard's like, oh, well, it took me a long time to figure that out. And it's just like, Wesley, he
does got game.
He does, but he is able to focus on his studies and stuff. He's been like slightly he was in love with that one alien lady at one point. He's got
the Animorph.
Yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. He's got game. He's definitely got game. But it's just funny because that's kind of the segue into him saying, "Hey, Picard, have you always been this disciplined?" And he's like, no, I was a real racist piece of shit. Tell the story, Al. What's this story that Picard tells him how he got his plastic heart?
It was a bar fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, so
that like he said something to someone else and it was just him at the bottom of like, I don't know, his like life of just making shitty decisions.
They're out.
How it's like you keep being an asshole
until somebody hits you.
Until something terrible happens.
Until you get stabbed through your heart. But this was like before the Klingons joined the Federation, Wesley said. So they're on the edge of Klingon space. It's in the past. Picard and a bunch of his Starfleet bros. And he was like a promising cadet still, So he's a promising cadet, but he's a bit of an asshole. And these Nausicaans come into the bar, and he's like, I got up and I yelled about and he's like, everybody knew. He's like,
history, their life.
He's like, my friends very wisely just ignored them, because the Nausicaans were clearly spoiling for a fight. But yeah, I decided to shit on their planet, their women, their fucking faces. Basically, I started shouting. I guess Nausicaan, maybe there's an N-word or something that he would shout, but
he put it very lightly.
You've seen Green Room, right? So like, he's a Nazi in that. Picard is, and so I think that really makes me think of like that's what he was like as a kid. He was super racist. He starts fighting, and he's like, I was doing a good job fighting them all off, and then I felt this weird feeling like I was I was impaled through my fucking chest and heart. And he's like, it's a good thing we were so close to a goddamn medical facility because they just but they were in a hurry, so that's why they had to use the defective pump, I guess. Defective valve.
But also he was just saying that like there was so much adrenaline running through him, and he was so pumped up that he just started laughing.
Yeah.
And he never realized it went through his heart.
Dude, you're killing
it. And it was funny,
this
too,
week.
because Wesley was like, damn, you're like a badass, you know? You're some hero, you know? And Picard's like, no, I wasn't.
That's a
I
bar
was
fight.
just a big asshole.
I got
with
stabbed.
a big mouth.
I got stabbed in the heart for being racist.
Yeah.
I'm the worst person. The only thing, it's like I was saying racist things while punching a lady in the face, and I got stabbed in the heart. And then from then on, I was nice.
It's just it's a nice thing, you know. It's a very big literary piece to have your characters talk over a meal and shit.
Yeah, and they're eating the sandwiches
together is super personal and stuff.
I like this. I bet this episode's gonna
It's a trope.
This episode's gonna do better in my ratings, I think, because they really got me with a Wesley episode. Because
I like it.
It really feels like Wesley is just like coming into his own, where he could say this kind of shit to the captain, even be like, could you imagine Wesley in season 1 being like, everybody knows you fucking hate kids, bro. You don't have to put on He's like, what? And also, you're like 17. You're barely a kid.
Also, though, I do appreciate where it's Wesley. You would think Wesley would be the one that's scared to even bring that up to Picard
and just
be nervous about it. But then he just is like, yeah, let me just put it all out there.
It's it is his nerves that make him do it. He's got that nervous energy,
True.
you know?
But still, I mean, it's pretty brave to just lay it all out there because, you know, I've been on an awkward drive with like an uncle-in-law and stuff. And we were trying to listen to radio and all that. But like his kids were in the back, you know, my cousins, and they're pretty young. And he was just like, I don't want to listen to radio. It's inappropriate music. And it was in my sister's car, and there was Taylor Swift's album 1989. And there was nothing else. And we heard that like 4 times.
Wow.
Rather than just talking.
Rather
I'm talking
than
front
just,
to back.
rather
there
than
was no
just
sandwiches.
Talking. There was no triangle
crazy bar fight
sandwiches
story.
with the crust cut off.
Yeah.
There was no heart replacement surgery that gone amok. So they get to the starbase. Hold on. Yeah, they get to the starbase. Wesley goes to do his tests, and Wesley like follows Picard to the surgery center, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And Wesley goes, Pulaski made me see you to the surgery thing to make sure you go in."
Oh my god.
And he's like, "Of course she did." So he knew already. So I feel like so Pulaski violated Picard's HIPAA shit, or he just said, just make sure he goes in there. At that point, Wesley still thought that Picard was definitely getting some sort of penis pump replaced, I would imagine. And so he goes, "Hey, I enjoyed our trip, Captain." And Picard is like, "So did I. Now I'm going to go do this bullshit." And so he goes to get surgery. Wesley goes to take his tests. That's the end of Wesley's story. He comes back and we know he passed the test. That's about it.
Yeah.
Now, the Pakleds reach out to Riker and the crew, and they're like, "Enterprise." So they're saying, "We demand that you return Geordi." And then they say, "Hey, we're not going to lower our shields unless you give us all of the data that you have on the Enterprise." And they don't mean data, the person. They mean data, like all the stuff in the computers. And so now it makes sense. It's like, oh, these Pakleds, this is what they do.
Yeah, but there is a context too in the scene before, you know, Picard leaves. They find out that the Pakleds had programmed these heirs into their computers.
Yeah, so the Pakleds basically made it look like their systems were fucked to the point where it even fooled Geordi, the chief engineer of the Enterprise, the flagship of the Starfleet. And I just don't. So then now they've been totally had, and they want to get all the data from the computers. And what I thought is just make a computer virus, which is sort of what they do, I guess. But so they have a staff meeting where Riker is like, "Hey, look, we gotta figure this shit out. We need Worf is like, "I got security team standing by. We can go in there and fuck shit up." And then Data's like, "Look, our options haven't changed. We can either respond to the Pakleds or not. We can use force or not. Those are the only things. We can give them what they want or not." And Riker says that would be drastically against Starfleet regulation. And then you can see a bit of a plan is hatched on Riker's face. And this is where we cut to Al, if you have the video up in front of you, go to about 30 minutes and 36 seconds. Because this is where we see the surgery center where Picard is, and everybody's dressed like Snoke's fucking private security in Star Wars 2, aren't they? They're all
like
red.
A cool music video.
Yes. Oh yeah, they're like a Devo video. They're like,
Devo.
We are Devo making your robot heart. And
it's like they're trying to cut through the budget of like making this surgery not seem complicated at all, but then they could always just write it off as like, we're so far into the future that
save
we can
the
just
budget. There's all kinds of shit.
Cool colored.
Like there's all. This is like a big set, and then they have like the artificial heart in a jar of liquid. The shot the shot starts with the artificial heart in the jar of liquid being picked up and lifted over to him, and he's got one of those surgery beds over his chest because that's how they do surgery in the future. The doctor just touches a pad and then the lasers do their thing.
I guess I meant like special effects and stuff.
Oh yeah, no. I did too. I thought they did a good job. They got the
set is big. You're right.
They got the thing over his chest with the pad. They got the blips and boops. I think they did a good job. Now we cut back to the staff meeting. They cannot figure out what to do about the fucking Pakleds, and this is where Troy lays it out. She says the Pakleds, they want to have an existence beyond their limitations. Like, they can't just wait until they develop intellectually. And holy shit, isn't that an analogy for people who use AI now? Like, are not the Pakleds, like everybody who's putting prompts into computers, they're just the Pakleds. They don't want to learn how to shade a drawing, you know?
There's a lot of pages that got ruined.
But then also, the Enterprise does the same fucking shit. They're like, hey, Data. They just give Data prompts for him to do stuff. Data's an AI, you know? But the Pakleds really reminded me of people like using ChatGPT to write an email saying, I am smart. We are smart.
Oh my God, no. But then it's the worst is like when you're trying to communicate with that person and then they would take your response and put it into the AI.
I haven't really run into that.
And it's like you're just talking to an agent.
I'd blow my brains out.
At that point, you're not talking to a human being. You're just talking to somebody feeding your communication through that.
You can tell I've never read one of those emails because the top of my head is still attached to my fucking body. I would blow my fucking brains out. If anybody I knew in real life sent me an email that had obviously they used ChatGPT to reply to what I said, I'd be like, oh, we're done, motherfucker. This is done. Whatever. Unless you're paying me, you better be paying me a lot to read this fucking
it's garbage
shit runoff. Now, here's the thing. They're basically saying we need to turn their impatience and greed against them. So they are going to... And this is where, you know, the old... I think I've talked about it on the podcast before. When there's a heist or something, if they explain the heist to the audience before it happens, that means it's not going to go the way they say. But if they say, all right, here's the plan. Whisper, whisper, whisper. And then you see it happen, even if it looks like it didn't work, it probably did. And so now we've got real nail biters on both sides, right? And I will talk about this more in the summation of the episode at the end, but I really like how like Picard is on this intellectual journey with Wesley. Wesley's on an intellectual journey to go take his test for Starfleet, and the Pakleds are trying to skip ahead in their intellectual journey as people. So all of these stories do kind of thematically connect, and it's not just plot; it's definitely thematic. And so, so then, while Picard, of course, even though 2.5% mortality rate, something bad is happening with the surgery. Oh, my microphone just cut out for a second. Something bad is happening with the surgery. So we don't know exactly what's going on, but they need an expert, and there's only one person that can do it. And the doctor's like, and I know just who to call. Cut to
dun, dun, dun.
the Enterprise bridge where Riker is putting his plan into action by like saying the number 24 to Wesley. He's like, or to Geordi. He's like, they're like giving each other cues. It takes Geordi a second to figure it out.
It's a funny bit, though.
It is a very funny bit because they're talking about it right in front of the Pakleds, and then they get while Geordi's implementing this plan, they get the notice that Picard is on death's door back at the base, the starbase. So they have to book it to the starbase. Troy comes in saying Picard needs us, and so they zip zap zippity zoop zop. They do their plan. Geordi bests the Pakleds, and they're saying we are strong, we are smart, we have power, but they actually disabled their shields, and they save Geordi, and they of course. They get to we see Picard's surgery room, but we don't see the identity of the doctor who did it. It's like, well, that's Pulaski for sure, right? Mm-hmm. And then it ends up being Pulaski that had to do it anyway. Picard is salty about it. And then Picard goes to the bridge. Everybody claps. Hey, you survived your surgery. We had a 97.5% success likelihood, but good job. Yep. We missed our star survey. And so that's pretty much it. Picard is like, we're never gonna speak of this again. Everybody shut up. Let's go. So what did you think, Al, of the Samaritan Snare? Oh, I just got the title, the Samaritan Snare. That's the trap.
You got it?
That's the trap. Yeah. I don't. I'm slow, man.
I got it. Yeah, I got it.
No, I mean, I got it before this. I was doing a bit just now. Like, I was doing a bit. I definitely got it earlier. I didn't put that.
The snare.
I hadn't really thought. It's not that I hadn't ever thought about it for more than a second.
It was just, it's ironically just kind of a weak alien story because, like, I feel like Riker's pretty dumb for sending Geordi over.
I love it, dude. But
I also
love it.
I like all the character building with Picard, Wesley, and just Pulaski and that entire awkwardness. But then, the last half, where they're trying to get Geordi back and all that, and the whole like, all right, well, have a good life, Geordi.
Yeah.
Like, we'll miss you. And Geordi's just looking all confused. That is definitely one of the best parts.
I love it. Yes, for sure.
And how Worf is like, you will not die with honor.
Yeah, dude.
And he's like, okay. You've never reached, what is it, the 24th level?
Yes, you'll never, the 24th level of enlightenment.
Enlightenment, yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's very good. That's all of the them talking to each other in code is good. It's just...
It was entertaining.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it was a cool blending of kind of two plots with the same theme, of communication and just trying to... What's the word? I don't know. Open yourself up to other things.
Yeah, and just
be nice.
To allow yourself to connect to other people, to have a heart. Get it? You gotta have a heart.
But also, I don't know, it was just so strange. Could the Pakleds figured it out, had they just sent over the schematics?
I think that they wouldn't have been satisfied with that. That's the whole point. So
right.
That I want to mention, I love that both Worf and Troy told Riker, hey, what the fuck? And I love that I mentioned it already, but Picard's on this introspective journey where he's nurturing Wesley's intellect, and Riker's dealing with these really anti-intellectual people to the point where he falls into the trap of thinking he's so superior, So I really liked it. What's your rating? How many Pakled heads? How many dumb Pakled heads do you give this out of 5?
Oh, I was gonna say those little sleeping things.
Oh yeah, how many of the sleeping forehead things do you give this?
This was solid. 4 out of 5.
That's what I was gonna give it. 4 out of 5. We are in sync on the Samaritan Snare.
There could have been one thing that made it better. Maybe the alien
maybe a
story
little
could have been
action,
crazier, but
maybe cut one of the scenes where the doctors are going, oh my gosh, we've got to operate on this guy.
But you're definitely on it though, Adam, with the trend of like, if they don't visit a planet, you know, like it's way more entertaining if they're just out in space.
Yeah, it's like it's a show about spaceships and shit, you know? I dig it. And so that...
Yeah, it feels like the writers are finally getting over that. And we're getting a flurry of, like, great episodes.
Yes.
And it's just going to get better, too, which is exciting.
Absolutely. And I look forward to discussing more next week. But Al, that brings us to our final segment of the episode.
Oh, yes.
Captain, Adam and Al are recommending things. I repeat, Adam and Al are recommending things. What do you got for us this week, Al Hirt?
Actually, I've been watching this animator for some strange reason. A bunch of his stuff. The first movie I saw from him was when I was really young. My mom had gotten it for me because it was just animated, and she didn't think much of it. But it was Ralph Bakshi.
I was going to say Ralph Bakshi. I was like, oh my God, are you going to say Ralph
Lord of the
Bakshi?
Rings.
Oh, yeah. The Bakshi Lord of the Rings.
And then I went down like this rabbit hole. I've seen Fritz the Cat, Wizards.
You watch Cool World yet?
Fire and Ice. I haven't seen Cool World.
So Cool World is his Who Framed Roger Rabbit, because it's Brad Pitt as a human in the cartoon world. But dude,
interesting.
Ralph Bakshi fucking rips. I follow him on all the socials.
Yeah.
He like shares little doodles and art that he's still doing and selling. And
he's a great creator. Dude. I don't know. It's very like, you know how
did you say you've seen Wizards?
Yeah,
I have.
I don't think that's him though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Oh, and then I saw Heavy Metal as well. That was cool.
The Orb.
Yeah, and then it was just a lot of like running through those have just been, it's like a cool different way to see where those like initial cornerstones of like adult animation and like to see the scope of, hey, we have this medium where we can do whatever the hell we want. Like, why not talk about more mature stories and make them into bigger things? And it's like, now adult animation is this huge thing, you know?
Ralph Bakshi absolutely is responsible for like Adult Swim, or not Adult Swim, but to like MTV's Liquid Television, like those cartoons. I think that there's definitely like, and yeah, he did Wizards, of course. That's one of his big, that's Wizards. But and Cool World is fucking good. And that's cool. As soon as you said I have been watching this animator, I was like, well, it wouldn't be Miyazaki, that'd be too obvious. But I knew you were gonna I knew you were gonna say Ralph Bakshi. He just keeps coming up in conversation lately.
Really?
Yeah, dude, he's fucking great. Love it.
Yeah, he must be popping off again.
Go watch all of Ralph Bakshi's stuff. It's very good.
Fire and Ice was good.
Oh, Fire and Ice is fucking awesome. Fire and Ice, Boris Vallejo did drawings for that. Fucking great artist, Boris Vallejo. And also Mike Plug, who's like an outsider artist, did lots of designs and art for Ralph Bakshi movies. So like there's this whole other rabbit hole of like the artists that worked on his movies were also big fantasy and whatever artists on their own as well. But yeah, so Ralph Bakshi, good recommendation, man.
Yes, definitely.
I have been watching a new anime called Tugenanki, Tougenanki. It says Tugenanki Dark Demon Paradise, but that's not how it's billed on. I watch it on Stupid Prime, which is gifted to me. I don't pay for it. Now, but Tugenanki is a world where it's Japan, and there are Oni, demons, and there are like Momotaro, who are like demon killers. But the Oni are actually like good. Like the Oni are like a second class citizen, and the Momotaros kill them, even though like basically the Momotaros are like racist. They're fascists, and anybody Oni or of Oni blood needs to die, right? And the Onis are actually like cool and just like trying to live their lives. But it's like just and the Oni have blood powers where they like cut themselves and then their blood goes out and does fucking crazy stuff. And the Momotaro also have powers where they have like a bacteria that goes out and like creates things that they fight with, like creates weapons and shit. But it's just,
jeez,
you know, it's your old classic anime ancient battle between two, you know, secret societies basically that operate underneath of regular society. And they got to do all this stuff without being found out by the real world, which never really seems like much of a concern. They really blow the shit out of places in public. But yeah, so you're recommending Ralph Bakshi. I'm saying Tugananki. Tugananki, Dark Demon of Paradise.
How many episodes are
there? There's only October 2026 is the season 2 comes out. There is 24 episodes right now, I think. Nice. Wait, no. There's
that's a big season.
Yeah, there's 24 real ass season, 24 episodes, and they got 24 more coming at the end of the year. But yeah, so
nice.
Check it out. And next week we will be back to discuss the Up the Long Ladder, which sounds kind of like an insult, like, hey, go up the fucking long ladder with ya. So do all the stuff in the bumper, like, subscribe, rate, review. And
thank you very much for listening, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Come back next week, gang. Bye.
Peace.
163. Trek in the Valley is brought to you by Adam Ordall-Quinnell and Al Hirt. The theme was produced by Al. The episodes are engineered by Adam. You can email the podcast at trekinthevalley@gmail.com, or you can search for us on Bluesky and Facebook as Trek in the Valley and follow us over there. Please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you do on your podcast apps. It really helps us out. And never forget, always explore strange new fucking worlds.